Now, this is exactly the dish you want when someone gives you a call and says, I'm coming over in an hour. You're like, oh, right, I need to get the tea on and I need a little bit of a cake. And of course, we want to be guilt-free, so this is going to be a sugar-free apple tart. So simple, 5 ingredients. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it.
What's guilt? What's
Guilt?
that word?
Yeah, I didn't think that was in your vocab. So anyway, let's get started here, shall we?
What's that V word again? There we go.
So what I've got here is egg wash.
Nice.
And I have puff pastry.
Nice. I love that
Simple.
you're using puff pastry because it's something I would use. Normally you would give me a big frown and a big no-no about me using something like this.
It's okay, there's no sugar in it.
You sure there's no other pastry you could use? Maybe wholemeal pastry or something, or... You know?
Well, this is quite a good-looking dish. It's aesthetically beautiful, and that's what we're going for. And a little bit of butter every so often. Anything that you like in moderation is okay with me.
What's that word again? You're coming up with all these words. Moderation. There we go. Now you want me to peel this off?
I would love you to peel this one
so
off.
I can pop this straight on here like that for you.
Wonderful. Because what I want is I want that lovely border to really puff so that we have this lovely canvas for me to work the apple in.
Rosie, look at this. I'm just going to pop this here like this. Look at that.
A few little magic tricks. I'll cook, you just entertain. That's fine.
I'll just look nice and pretty.
We're just a walking dinner party, really, aren't we?
And I can pull a rabbit out of my pocket. There we go.
Now, talking of tricks, what I have here is I have just used my knife just to create a bit of a border. Now, of course, these layers, I've just added another one. It's going to extra puff. So I want to go down one level. So what I've done is just nicely cut it away. And because the egg wash was only on the sides, it hasn't got stuck.
There we go. I'll grab that for you.
Now, we could use this for whatever we want as well.
What I might do is grab this plastic here.
No wastage.
How about I wrap this up for you and we can use this later on to make a little apple turnover or something.
Over-delivering today, are you, Adrian? Over-delivering.
Okay,
well, so of course we've got our lovely canvas here for all my lovely apple for my apple tart. Nice. And we're going to do something called docking, which basically means I'm putting a few holes in there just so the steam can escape a little bit so it doesn't go too high because, of course, I want to have a nice nest for all my lovely natural sugars coming out of the apple. And that is why I have used the green apple, because it's notorious for being very naturally sweet. No sugar needed.
Very much.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put a little bit more egg wash here, and I'm going to go over the whole thing so it gets that lovely, nice shine. Now, I have the oven on 200, and we're just going to blast it just to make sure that it nicely cooks so we don't get that soggy bottom. All we're going to need is about 15 minutes. So if you do the honours,
I'll pop
you just
that into
hold
the
that
oven.
one, I'll open the door for you.
There we go. And into the oven.
Now that has puffed up beautifully. So I'm going to get rid of the middle here, just so that we have a little bit more space. And I have some apple just here that I would love you to just slice in half. And where you see this little semicircle, I would love you to just slice that really nice and thin. What I've done as well is I have turned the oven down to 170. So now all we want is to heat that lovely stewed apple and some of that sliced apple as well.
You're not going to waste that dock pastry, are you? You can save it for me?
Oh, we could crumble that on anything you want.
I was going to say, there's nothing better than dock pastry.
So just remove that. Now, you can get stuck in with your hands here as well. What we want to do is just make a little bit of a space. Now, don't let this go to waste. This can be crumbled on anything. So I'm
just thinking of all the things you can crumble it onto. How's that? Is that what you want, the apple like that?
That is absolutely perfect.
Nice.
So I have some stewed apple here. Now, stewed apple is a brilliant dessert in itself. Add a dollop of Greek yogurt and you have a lovely, lovely dessert. But just a little bit of water and cinnamon and just let it cook down slowly for 20 to 30 minutes on a nice low heat, and it just turns absolutely beautiful. And those natural sugars all just come out. So I'm just going to do
your idea of a great dessert and mine are completely different, aren't they?
Stewed apple.
There we go.
Oh,
I could just see your place. Oh, look at that stewed apple. I can't wait to tuck into that one.
I love stewed apple. And if you've been feeling a little bit poorly, stewed apple is a great thing to start on as well. Get your energy back up with the natural sugars.
Have you ever heard of ice cream or chocolate mousse or creme brulee or any of those things?
Is that sort of slicing there?
Okay, I'm slicing.
So I have my lovely base of stewed apple. So we have a nice kind of bit of gooey when we cut it as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab very nicely sliced. We are just going to start lining these ones up until it's all done.
Okay. Nice.
Just our last few slices here.
Nice.
Now I'm just going to put a little bit of lemon just on there to give it a little bit
of zing.
Of zing. a little bit of cinnamon. That's just going to help with our blood sugar. Just make sure it's nice and controlled. We don't get too excited.
And it also makes it taste nice as well.
It also makes it taste.
There we go, apple and cinnamon, beautiful.
And into the oven, just needs 10 minutes. How simple was that?
Nice and simple.
5 ingredients, 5 clean ingredients for the entertainer. And so what I'll do is I'll just chop a little, listen to that sound of all those layers.
Now that's a big piece of pie, isn't it? Or tart or puff pastry, flan.
But we're going to share it, obviously, aren't we?
Oh, I don't know about you, but I don't share anything when it comes to dessert. I'm going to cut straight into that like that and pick out a piece here. Ooh. It's really good puff pastry, and I want to show you the layers. That's probably the most important part. All these layers here, and when you let them puff up like that, they're beautiful. I think this is a great-looking dessert.
It's a very nostalgic taste with the cinnamon, with the apple. Absolutely delicious, very comfort food-esque. But that's sweet. That natural sugar has come out.
You and I have sweetness on different ends of the scale. I mean, it's not sweet, it's just a little bit tart, but with a scoop of ice cream here or maybe a little drizzle of honey, it would be perfection. And I really love the puff pastry. I love the way you've used it. And with the apple on the bottom of it, it's a really nice dessert.
Well, I think we've shown we can do it, can't we? No sugar desserts.
Much more sugar, just a little bit of sugar is okay.
No.
Can we not do this again?
Look, we can do a little
Just a little bit of sugar.